When we think about design for longevity, most people think about, okay, design for retirement, but it's more than just design for retirement.
Sometimes you get to bump into people in the elevator, you chat to them, and that might strike you with some new idea, before you get to the second floor.
Taiwan's biomedical innovation ecosystem is much more developed compared to, let's say, 5 to 10 years ago.
What do you think Taiwan still needs for its biotech ecosystem, for it to become world-class and deliver global innovators? Hello and welcome to Connected. I'm Divya Gopalan. Let's talk about innovation. Actually, let me be more precise. Let's talk about the giant leaps happening in the biotech and biomedical fields. The type of innovation that most of us do not think about until we critically need it. But behind the scenes, areas related to healthcare are taking center stage when it comes to startups and funding dollars. Now, this graphic shows the pandemic's effect on global venture capital pouring into biotech innovation. Despite cooling since the height of the pandemic in 2021, VC funding for biotech continues to exceed pre-pandemic levels. The deal numbers reflect a similar trend. There is a quiet evolution changing how biotech R&D is done, and it has to do with what's known as design thinking and biodesign innovation. To help us understand the implications for startups and innovations in the health and medical fields, we are joined by Dr. Jowy Tani in Taipei. He's the CEO of the Taipei Medical University Biomed Accelerator and has helped to build biomedical innovation ecosystems and coach medtech startups. He's a neurologist by training, and his expertise is in dementia, sleep medicine, and electroneurophysiology. And from Boston, Massachusetts in the US, we have Sheng-Hung Lee. He is a researcher at MIT AgeLab and a board director of the Industrial Designers Society of America. Trained as an industrial designer and electrical engineer, his work focuses on how design and technology impact society. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. It is great to have you both on the program. I'm going to start with you, Jowy. Now, the biodesign innovation process originated at Stanford University, where you were a part of its Biodesign Global Faculty Program. Can you tell us about how it all came about and how it started?
Sure. So I think the core of the biodesign methodology is that it starts with the design thinking principles. We focus on unmet need. We clearly define the unmet need, and then we brainstorm. We try to come up with something to solve the critical unmet need in healthcare. So biodesign is really a specialized branch of design thinking that focuses on solving the world's problem using, especially in biomedical fields.
Right, so Sheng-Hung, the process of design thinking plays a key part in biodesign innovation. What are the basics of design thinking, and how does that contribute to innovation in general?
Yeah, we know like design is like always have the fuzzy front end, right? So I think especially in terms of innovation, everything's unknown. Especially now, everything's like systematic and complicated. How do we apply some design principle to help us navigate the design process to kind of unlock some like a potential and some like unknown like problems? That's really important, interesting for me to understand, to figure it out.
Right, and Jowy, you call yourself a physician innovator. I love that. What is the biodesign meant to do when it comes to biomedical innovation?
Yeah, so it used to be that a lot of big companies trying to get into the biomedical fields, they're trying to build biomedical products. But the problem is a lot of these companies, when they push their products, their technology to the market, it doesn't really solve the problem in the biomedical field, doesn't really solve the problems with the patients, with the families, and with other stakeholders. So a lot of this product doesn't work very successfully. On the other hand, if we start from the from the biodesign principles or design thinking principles, we need to look at the unmet need. Yeah. If we start from the unmet need, then we can build the right product that really address the real problem that need to be solved in the biomedical market, in the real world. So I think that's why physicians like myself bring ourselves the innovation ecosystem. So a lot of us has been observing a lot of important needs that is still unmet and need to be addressed, and then we bring our expertise. We work closely together with business person, with engineers, with designers to make sure the products that bring to the market is really meeting the needs of the real world, especially in the healthcare setting. Yeah.
And you know, for all of this to happen, you need the funding. So let me take it back to practicals, and let's take a look at the therapeutic areas where early stage VC funding is heading. The graphic shows startups focusing on cancer received the largest funding last year. That's more than double the amount for neurologic-focused startups. So this question is for you, Sheng-Hung. A central focus of your research at MIT AgeLab is on aging and longevity. You call it, I believe, design longevity, or D4L. How are you applying this to various fields and industries at the moment?
Yeah, this is such a great problem because I feel it's really hard to design. What do you mean by longevity, right? In Chinese, we say 长寿乐龄, right? And design for longevity can contain a lot of meanings. And one way I'm thinking about this is because so complicated, so complex, it's more like you apply the lens to see the problems. So what I mean by that is when we think about design for longevity, most people think about, okay, design for retirement, but it's more than just design for retirement. Think about not just financial, like education, mobility, aging in place, right? Community, family, investment, risk, future. Everything is you need to think about, project your future self. And that's the thing we need to think earlier, because now people live longer and we want to celebrate good quality of lives. Right? How do you embrace ageism, right? And how do you think about celebrate multi-generation culture, workforce, and also challenges, right? Maybe people think, yeah, I'm 65, but I'm not retired, because we're not viewed age as number. We view age as different life stages. So that's the thing, design for longevity is really, really important. And then it affects all aspects of lives. So one of the examples is I think last year, summer, I worked with Shenzhen University in Taipei. We think about how to build age tech city. So the idea is less about technology. It's about how do we embrace technology with a new lenses. And I call that lenses is design for longevity.
Interesting. Now, although it was developed more than 20 years ago, Jowy, Biodesign is still a novel approach, and people aren't that familiar with it still. It is becoming more widely understood in the US, but what's the situation here in Taiwan?
Yeah, I think Taiwan is a relatively newcomers in the biodesign field. I think biodesign did originated in the US, and then it spread around the world and come to the Asia Pacific area. And I think Taiwan has been especially invest a lot in promoting this methodology in the last 10 years. And I think in the last 3 to 5 years, it comes to more fruition. Yeah, I think the initiative involves both governments, universities, academia, and also industries. I think today more than 5 to 10 universities in Taiwan has been involving in teaching biodesign and starting biodesign programs. In my university, for example, the Taipei Medical University, last year we host an international biodesign conference, which is known as the Biome Idea Asia Pacific. We invite biodesign practitioners all over the world coming to the Taipei Medical University. And I think what we gain from that conference is that we really start to become a part of the global biodesign community. Yeah, and I think not only in the government and the academia field, I think industry in general has also been appreciative of this biodesign. So a lot of Taiwanese companies are already adopting biodesign methodologies. Some of them are working with universities to involve these academicians or biodesign practitioners into their as their consultants to work on their products. And some of them are sending their own engineers to sending their own staff to participate in the biodesign program, so they could innovate better products that really meets the unmet need of the market. Yeah.
The thing about healthcare and health tech, which is different from other industries and other fields, is it has to do with people's and people's well-being, and therefore often disruptions aren't as welcome. And then in that sense, people are a little bit afraid of innovation in that sense, because it's something new and they're not used to. Sheng-Hung, what would you say is the difference when it comes to that, where you are in the US and somewhere like Taiwan or the Asia-Pacific region?
I think definitely like healthcare system is very different, right? And we talk about, like I said earlier, like design for longevity. People think a lot about their financial planning. Financial planning, most part of it is like healthcare, right? Your insurance and your pension, for example. And I feel in Taiwan, US, and even Europe, they all have different healthcare systems that really have the impact the way we think about our future, the way we think about the technology. And one of the example I want to say is like, also last year I worked with like TDI, Taiwan Research Institute of Design. We talk about how do we envision the future healthcare through services. So the interesting thing about this workshop is like, we bring people, not just like medical professional, also designers, also caregiver, care recipients, social worker, to really talk about our healthcare system from more like comprehensive perspective, to redesign, envision what we can do for the next step, right? How do you design something more human-centered, right? Do you think about people? Like Jowy, you say, like, we have to figure out what are the unmet needs, right? For me, that means like empathy, right? What do we mean by empathy? We talk a lot about human-centered design. Empathy simply means that you have to understand people's story. Did you really listen, right? We need that people, not just decision maker, key stakeholder. We need people to listen people's real story. So we need like care recipients. We need the senior people in the design process with designer to really figure out the future of healthcare system for Taiwan or even for Asia.
And Jowy, what is the acceptance of disruptions within the healthcare industry or innovations in Biomed here in Taiwan?
Okay, so to bring a biomedical product to the market, it is more difficult in products in general. First of all, there are this regulatory requirement, right? You need to pass in Taiwan FDA or in US FDA. So first, there's this regulatory reimbursement. After you bring in the market, sometimes you need reimbursement. I mean, insurance to pay for the product. Also, usually, if you sell to healthcare institution, it has a longer sales cycles, and sometimes the research and development process is longer. So inherently brings in a biomedical products to the market is more difficult to product in general. So that's why in order to get this product to get accepted by the market, you need more effort. So this often means more challenge for engineers and designers and also entrepreneurs that are working on these products. So in order to help these innovators succeed, I think we really need an ecosystem behind that.
Okay, I want to bring you to another space that's trying to do that, and that's the Taipei Bioinnovation Park that launched last year, and it's now a focal point for Taiwan's biotech industry. It brings together companies in biotech and biomedical innovation and houses around 100 firms, supporting them with industry incubation, clinical trials, and marketization. We spoke to Managing Director Jenny Yang about the wider goals for the space, and we also got some insight from Rusty Chen, who heads up Merck's MLab Collaboration Center in Taiwan. That's the global pharmaceutical giant, which set up its 6th such collaboration center in Asia at the Bioinnovation Park.
Our vision for Taipei Bioinnovation Park is that we hope to establish premier destination where the innovation thrives, collaboration flourishes, and the biotech breakthroughs are made here. Yeah, so that's our vision. And I think our aim is to create an ecosystem that can nurture and accelerate the development of groundbreaking technologies that can also to help the biotech companies and startups to accelerate their innovation and also expand their business.
We see actually the biotech industry and market are quite energetic. We see versatile and we see a lot of different kinds of variety pipeline actually develop here and tech transfer outside Taiwan. Yeah. So it is a very important country and market from global point of view, actually. We don't want to be viewed as just a vendor. We want to be viewed as a great partner for the industry. All the way for their success from early phase process development until to the late phase manufacture. We want to help them to be more success with not just our innovative product, but also with our best class technical support.
Jowy, what kind of opportunities are opening up for startups and innovations here in Taiwan?
Yeah, I would say that today's Taiwan's biomedical innovation ecosystem is much more developed compared to, let's say, 5 to 10 years ago. Today's, I think there's a lot more accelerators and also ventures, as well as government grants that is available to the innovators in the biomedical fields. That being said, there's also more educational resources and also design resources that, as well as the CDMO, contract development manufacturing organization resources that could help innovators prototype their products. On the other hand, healthcare institutions such as Taipei Medical University are also bringing our clinical resources in order to help the innovators verify their products easier in the healthcare settings. For example, our Accelerator is actively helping startups in the field. We accept 10 to 15 startups every year in order to help them doing clinical verification in our teaching hospitals.
Sheng-Hung, would you say design thinking is playing a greater role in how startup founders draw their business strategy, or how should they be incorporating it from day one?
Yeah, this is such a great question. Thanks for Jowy's explain the whole system and biopart also in Taiwan. I feel like the design now is like play more critical role than ever, especially now AI, right? Everyone can claim themselves designer because we can come with so many solutions within a second by prompts. So somehow, like, how do we push design from not just execution level to more strategic level? That's much more important, especially now biotechnology, AI, system thinking, design process, all interconnected together. And I feel like the best part of design is like we talk about iterated process. Right? We talk about like we're not aiming for just one solution. We think about multiple different conditions based on different scenarios and different needs. Especially I believe that in biotech or like healthcare field, it's very complicated. So many people's needs. We cannot find the average person, right? Everyone is so different. So design is like I said, like we talk about empathy, we talk about human center. How do we apply that, amplify that at the very beginning? Not just provide the final solution. No, we want to know what happened in the process.
Saying that then, Sheng-Hung, how does the user experience and sustainability factor into design for aging, healthcare, and medical fields, and I guess in particular the longevity field?
Yeah, I feel not just Taiwan, like Japan, other countries in Europe, or we're not in aging society, we're in like super aging society. So I feel like when we talk about design for longevity, actually we're already in longevity economics, right? People like say 85 plus, like 85 years old is like, it's the highest growth demographic. So because of that, design, sustainability, longevity it will be connected. It has to integrate it. We have to think about our fundamental social infrastructure, right? Not just healthcare system, our other social infrastructure, financial system, education system. We heard people say you have to grow old, learn old. So what do you mean by that? Our education system ready for that? Right? If people say I'm aged 75, I want to back to school, are we prepared for that? Can we prepare for that? Are we change our perception, right? Because it's I think it's a fundamentally shift. It's a transformation process. And I feel we need to think about that and not just stay at the thinking level, right? So when we say design thinking, no, we need to design making, design creating, and that connect with a lot of multiple factors.
It's certainly food for thought, and one that needs to be put into practice, as you say. Now, going back to the startup scene here, Jowy, you once said the biomedical startups were often trapped in the so-called valley of death. That's pretty ominous. What was that about? Can you explain?
Yeah, so I think it used to be 10 years ago when the ecosystem, the Taiwanese biomedical ecosystem was not that well developed. There's a lot of academicians and researchers trying to bring their technology to the biomedical market. Yeah, and when they try to do that, the often things that happen is that they exhaust, because they're academician, they applied for government or private fundings. What really often happens is that they exhausted all their funding options, but still they cannot bring their market to bring their product to the market. So that's what often happens. And I think so. Since 5 years ago, we established the Taipei Medical University Accelerator. We try to bring in the fundings, bring in the guidance, bring in the clinical resources in order to help these teams who are trapped in this valley of death, who have no longer have funding to continue their innovation. So we provide these resources to them so they can get across that chiasm, get across that valley of death in order to bring themselves into the market.
And to your point, Jowy, global competitiveness has become a prerequisite for survival for many startups. That's the case even more for emerging biotech companies, which require a vast amount of resources along the supply chain. We spoke to Dr. Zheng He, founder and CEO of AP Biosciences, which closed its Series C funding at around $25 million 2 years ago and moved to the Taipei Bioinnovation Park last year. He talked about the park's cluster effect and the need for Taiwan's biotech sector to focus on resource allocation.
You have a cluster effect here. I mean, developing drug doesn't mean that you have to do it all by yourself. Okay, you could do that through collaboration. You could do that through brainstorming with different companies of different technologies. Sometimes you get to bump into people in the elevator. You chat to them, and that might strike you with some new idea. Yeah, before you get to the second floor. So I think that's a very good for the tenant here. That's kind of a Silicon Valley spirit that I had experienced before I moved back. Yeah, in terms of allocation of resources. Yeah, I think again for any new drug development company in Taiwan to be able to stand out and to be able to compete with those global drug companies, international companies, we really need to focus on our resource on promising product or promising companies.
Sheng-Hung, instead of just R&D, should it be now D-R&D, design, research, and development? And what do you think is the potential for design at the startup phase?
I feel like I know we talk a lot about human-centered design in the very beginning, and I feel I want to add one point is that actually we talk about human-centered system design, because in startup, also in our environment, everything's it's so complicated. It's that it's not just we come up with one solution. It's not just celebrate one hero designer. We talk about a whole system, right? And I feel like, especially for startup, so many new potentials, so many like possibilities, right? How do we use design as a way to guide us to follow some design principle, like very simple one, like inspiration, ideation, and implementation, right? And I think the key for startup is like, we have all these great ideas, and how can we faster this iteration to come up with a solution, like Dr. Jowy says, like prototyping, right? We keep prototyping. And then I think Taiwan has a great environment, also a very safe environment for prototyping. We have Biopark. We have this like policy to support all this innovation. And that's really important for design, because in order to design to thrive, to grow, you need to provide a safe environment or a condition to help with that.
So, Jowy, you spent some time in Silicon Valley while you were at Stanford. What do you think Taiwan still needs for its biotech ecosystem for it to become world-class and deliver global innovators?
Yeah, I think Taiwan should really leverage its two main strong points in order to succeed in this field. I think Sheng-Hung earlier said Taiwan has a great technology sector. So tech sector is really an important aspect. It reflects in our strong manufacturing capabilities, including semiconductor manufacturing. But we also have very strong CDMOs and prototyping services. I think that is one of the points that Taiwan, that startups should focus on. The other strong points that Taiwan has is the strength in its medical services. So I think Taiwan's healthcare services has been consistently ranked as among the top in the world. And that reflects in Taiwan's strong capabilities to do clinical trials, clinical verifications, that would otherwise be very difficult or very costly to do elsewhere in the world.
And hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more innovation to complement Taiwan's robust healthcare system. I'm afraid we've run out of time. Thank you both so much for being part of the program. Dr. Jowy Tani and Sheng-Hung Lee, thank you both for your time and your insights. And for our viewers everywhere, it has been good to have your company. A reminder, do stay informed, engaged, and stay connected.